So I just watched Secret Invasion, and it's not really good. And I don't think I'm in the minority for that. The numbers are speaking for themselves. More people are watching She-Hulk than the last 5 episodes out of a 6-episode series that is Secret Invasion. With as much hate as She-Hulk got, there were people that liked it. I don't think you could say the same for this one. I think it's pretty safe to say that the vast majority of people don't like this show, and I'm gonna explain why. Before I get started, comment down below and let me know what you thought of the show, whether you liked it or not. What was your favorite or least favorite part of the show? Listen, as someone who's only 2 years older than the MCU and has been religiously watching all of their content ever since, I genuinely wanted to like this show when I saw the first trailer, especially with the mindset that they're gonna pick up more of a similar tone to Captain America Winter Soldier. So after seeing how incredibly mid this show was upon my first watch, I ain't believe it. Well, guess what?
God did.
Alright, just so I don't sound like a Max Prestige hater,
Nigga, you just hating, feel me? That's why you ain't never gonna have no paper, ain't never gonna have no bitches, feel me?
I'm gonna list off a couple good things that I like about this show. First of all, Gravik. Now this one's kind of a double-edged sword because it makes me like him but also really dislike Fury. The one plus that this has is that this is one of the rare occasions where I almost agree with like the villain. To start it all off, I mean, the actor did a very good job, and it was actually kind of funny because he's also in the Barbie movie, but to see him play like a Skrull dictator assassin was just kind of interesting. I know bro listens to Drake though, I'm not gonna lie, bro was looking mad light skinned the way he would peep out the windows in every car ride. Anyway, I think the actor does a very good job, and it shows, especially in like the last episode.
A costume, Fury. Do you not recognize this skin? Huh? This face. This was the first human I killed. And you know why I killed him? I killed him because you told me to. But this man, Fury, he had a wife. And he had children. Yeah, all right, maybe he was a bit misguided. But I killed him because of you!
He turned a war people into a band of beggars, and what I'm supposed to emulate that? I'm supposed to be like Talos and put my trust in you. You pimped us, Fury. You put us out to work for you, and when you were done with us, you threw us away. And just so I am absolutely clear about this, Fury, you look at me. Look at me. You did this. All the bombs and the blackouts and the massacres and the wildfires and the imminent removal of humans from their habitat. That is all you.
I feel like the strongest points in the writing are more so his justification for what he does, and to see the actor pull it off with so much emotion is just, I think that was like a top tier performance. But I mean, he has pretty steep competition because everybody else kind of sucked. Gravik's motivation, while very compelling, also makes for a pretty lame character assassination for Fury. While it's heavily implied that he's no perfect dude, he's no saint, they also heavily show the way he just pimped out like a immigrant race of aliens on Earth to work for him, and then once he was done with them, after promising them a home, kicked them to the curb. While Fury's points are not completely invalid, it doesn't paint Fury in a very positive light, and it's kind of hard to follow him because he is our main protagonist. And it doesn't entirely make sense because it's established that he carries trauma from dying and coming back, and he even says later in the show that he felt relief. And I think that those are very interesting themes that they can definitely explore within the character, but they just don't. The plot is so cluttered and rushed that they rarely ever have time to hone in on it. And it's sad because this plot ain't it, man. And if we get anything like this for Daredevil, I'm just gonna cancel my Disney Plus subscription. The Flash movie has a better story structure than this entire show, and this says a lot. There's so many contrivances within like the first episode, and for a grounded espionage style TV show, it shouldn't be that hard to follow your own rules, considering that there's like little to no kind of superheroes that you need to balance out to prevent plot holes. There are literal scenes where Nick Fury will tote his gun and then just not pull the trigger just for like the villain to cause an explosion that kills innocent people. Same thing with like Talos. Like, our lead characters can make some of the dumbest decisions, and to see that they result in like so many lives being lost is just kind of ridiculous. But then out of nowhere you'll see them do something cool, which just makes Nick Fury look like a bumbling idiot through his entire show. They gave him a wife. I didn't understand that one. Not to say that it was bad, it was just kind of a thing. But I think one of the main problems that this show had is that they threw us into a story full of characters that most people don't care for. I'm not gonna lie, Nick Fury was just the coach to the Avengers basketball team, and now that most of the players have retired, don't nobody really care about him. And on top of that, we have side characters from Captain Marvel. There's a lot of people who don't care for Captain Marvel, so to just throw these unrecognized characters into some kind of spy show concoction with a lot of off-screen development and random flashbacks in the show to kind of fill in the blanks really establishes a level of disconnect between us and the characters, because while the plot already sucks, like, it just feels like events just happening, We also don't care that much for the characters that we're following to begin with. I personally think that if the show just cut out a lot of filler, Secret Invasion makes The Flash look like a freaking masterpiece. No, not that one, that one. I have a bone to pick with that one, but we'll get to you in another video. Anyway, speaking of character assassinations, why would they do that to Rhodey? Why would they do that? Don Cheadle's acting is really good in this show, and he pulls off being the Skrull imposter really well too. But to retcon where the real him has been for like this last 6 years or so is just honestly kind of ridiculous to me. It really served no purpose in the story, and honestly I feel like it takes away more than it really contributes to his place in the MCU, especially with the time that he spent in the Avengers and most of their final moments at that. I mean, and honestly that just looks like the direction that the MCU is going in the first place. I'm looking forward toward Deadpool. I've just developed more of a distaste for rushed studio projects that just drop on a streaming service every couple of months, and I think people are realizing that too. And on top of that, isn't the Marvels coming out right after this? A lot of people aren't digging that either. Also, that was the worst final fight I've seen in a while. The effects aren't great. I try my best not to judge films off of their VFX, but it feels like we're moving backwards sometimes. I mean, The Amazing Spider-Man 2 looks better than half of what we get now. It's either Disney is not paying them enough or they're just being rushed, which either way is pretty unfortunate regardless of the way you look at it. It looks like Gaia will be the new strongest MCU character. I wonder how many audiences will be confused when she pops up in a movie and they're wondering who the heck she is. But yeah, this definitely sits comfortably at another mid project by the MCU, which is kind of sad because I feel like there was a lot of potential for this one. Maybe I'm wrong, who knows. But definitely another building block towards something that has zero direction, which is kinda sad. The first 10 years of the Marvel Cinematic Universe was at least stepping towards something, and that was Infinity War, which then ended with, well, Endgame. And now that we're in the next phase or whatever, it feels like there's no genuine direction for where the overall story is going. Even the director of Secret Wars doesn't know how long Rhodey's been a Skrull. He said, I think, since Civil War. I feel like that speaks for itself as a huge lack of communication. And because of that, it makes sense for as many contrivances and plot holes that there will always be in this corporate machine. They feel ridiculously corporate and less like people who just want to make movies and tell a good story. But with that being said, I'm gonna have to give the show a 3 out of 10.
Supposed to go.